Hello, friends and enemies. Welcome back to Weekly Allowance, the universe's only toy and tea review show. There's always a toy, but there's not always tea. Today's toy is Figma Table Museum Tutankhamun. Today's tea is Golden Monkey. I don't know what that means, but it's pretty good. I think it's just like a black tea with nothing in it. High caffeine, though. We're gonna need that caffeine to rip into this packaging. Okay, so this is not new. This is fairly old. We've had it sitting around for a while. Is it really Weekly Allowance, the toy review channel, if we aren't opening a figure that everyone else has already seen? Kind of plain box, but the colors do reflect the color scheme of the figure inside. Product shots on the side, there and there. Then more on the back. I do like that they use actual product shots, it looks like, photography rather than renders. Down with renders, I say. So yeah, we've had this one sitting around for a bit. Shoop. We did order the new Mythic Legions Rising Suns figures, but we're gonna be like one of the last people to get them, I think. So we're having to default to older figures until those come in. Kind of frustrating because I want to go ahead and review them, but we don't usually get the Four Horsemen figures until like the last minute or like the last wave. Anyway, enough griping about that. I could do a whole separate video about that. We're here for Tutankhamun. So Tutankhamun is a little bit different than the other Table Museum offerings we've looked at so far. Those were all based on works of art, so even though they may be people-shaped, they weren't actual, living, breathing people, based on a real person in some way. But Tutankhamun was a literal person. The mummy used to be a living, breathing boy. And so here we have a mummy figure. Probably not Tutankhamun exactly as they found him, but some kind of mummy figure with the Tutankhamun ceremonial death mask. Very famous artifact. Even if you know nothing about Tutankhamun or Egyptology or anything, you're bound to have seen this somewhere. And he also comes with a beautiful sarcophagus. So let's look at these individually first. Figma is disappointing sometimes, but Table Museum usually never lets me down. So your eye is pretty immediately drawn to that funerary mask. The detail on it is insane. So beautiful. Just like they took the real one and shrunk it down. Tiny, tiny hieroglyphics, painted flawlessly. It looks amazing. And then you've got the mummy body underneath, which is actually a pretty good mummy body. I mean, toy collectors are not strangers to mummy figures. There've been a few throughout the years. This one's really nice. Draped in wrappings that are decaying and falling apart, weathered by time. Also painted very well. You definitely get a feel of the layers. Yeah, this on its own is a beautiful piece. But then you have the sarcophagus. It's worth noting that this is the deluxe version. So I think there was a version of this that came with just Tutankhamun and his accessories minus the sarcophagus. Could be totally wrong though. As I said, it was a while ago that we got this. Stand up. Stand up. There you go. But yeah, detail on this is amazing. Again, just incredible sculpture. Incredible capturing of those details. And the paint, again, flawless, beautiful, just really incredible. These are works of art in their own right, and that's why I like this series. As an artist slash toy collector, I can't not. So much to look at. I do wonder if they took like maybe 3D scans or something of the actual artifacts and somehow incorporated that into making these figures. I don't know, but it could be done. And I think this opens up. We're gonna be gentle because I don't want to break anything. It's hollow inside, so you can put the boy king inside. It is pretty heavy for something that's hollow. This is a substantial piece. I mean, this alone makes quite the statement. So yeah, you can put our boy inside. To put him inside, I think you need to swap out his arms. He'll come with different arms that are crossed across his chest. And I think then he'll be able to fit into this better. But yeah, he should be able to fit inside. Just incredible work. It's beautiful. Look at that. There's even detail on the bottom. I believe that's Isis. Just incredible work. And then you think about, this is a toy replica of some work that humans did thousands of years ago. So while this is impressive, I mean, obviously the real thing is even more impressive. It just really is incredible thinking about these artifacts and the amount of skill that went into them. So Tutankhamun does have some articulation. Not much head-wise with this death mask on, obviously. Let me take this off, actually, and get a better look at the articulation. So he's got a neck joint. It doesn't do much. It rocks a little bit. It swivels. Nice, smooth joints on the arm. I love Figma joints. I don't have that many Figmas. I think the ones I had, I sold for some reason or another. Pretty much at this point, the only Figmas we have are the Table Museum line. Ooh, nice. Nice, smooth joints. But they are always so much fun to play with. Easy to move around. You want to be super careful because these are not cheap figures. You don't want to break anything, but they usually don't need heating up. It's usually pretty easy to get them into the position you want. He's got a little toe joint. I mean, some of them are more involved than the others, like the Scream is basically just a little guy on a wibbly wobbly body. Still not bad articulation for something that has no legs. So yeah, I'm thinking you can get a lot of movement and expression out of this guy. It's sad that he doesn't have a head, so let's give him a head. In addition to the funerary mask, he'll also come with this wrapped head. And when that is on, he's got some head tilt. A little bit of up and down, but not too much. The neck does make it a little bit more of a wide range of motion. But yeah, even without all the Tutankhamun specific items, still a really cool mummy figure. Small, handheld, easy to play with, easy to move around. And you have to keep in mind that Tutankhamun was a child, so he should be appropriately child-sized. So we saw some accessories already. Let's get into the rest of them. He'll come with hands, extra hands. Got some relaxed or reaching hands, do the classic zombie. He's got some fists. He's also got holding things hands, and those are for, where'd they go? These items. They are very small and thin, so you're going to want to be careful with them. But they are, again, beautifully made, beautifully sculpted. The ceremonial crook and flail. So these represent the pharaoh's position as a leader. This is to protect, this is to maintain order. So very important items for a pharaoh to have, even in death. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but here is the extra arm piece where he's got his arms crossed over his chest. Classic Egyptian mummy fashion. This is nice. It is an extra joint piece. It's pretty small, so I think it's just for like maybe the wrists. In addition, you get this plastic piece, which I can't even hold on to, and it is meant to plug into the back of the sarcophagus. It's a little tight, but I'm being gentle also. And then it can be laid down. I do wish that this was a little bit more in keeping with the theme. I wish it was wood texture and color instead of just this plastic. I mean, it's nice to have, but you've got this beautiful piece and then you've just got like obvious plastic underneath it. I think a wooden styled piece would have been much, much better. So you get a nice little bag to put your accessories in. Figma usually, if not always, does this. And then a stand in case you need help standing him up. He stands pretty well on his own, but for certain poses, this would definitely come in handy. So let's see if we can give him his alternate arms. I'm going to try not to mess this up. I don't like undoing these joints. Oh. Right? I'm just always like hyper aware of how much these things cost. And we're well past the return window. If I called customer service, they would laugh at me. So slip one in here. I'm not going to try and get them too hardcore in there because I'm going to take them off and put the regular arms back on anyway. So obviously they can go even deeper than that. It looks kind of awkward, but that's because I'm not really pushing them in as much as they can go. And then you've got your flail and your crook. And I think really you would want the mask on for this, but we're just going to see how well he fits in here. I feel these things kind of get in the way and I don't want to break them. So I'm going to take these out to close the casket. And again, it's pretty deep, so maybe it'd be okay. And there he is. He's in there. If you're here in the year of our Lord 2026, looking at this old figure, wondering if you should get it, I'd say splurge for the version with the sarcophagus. If I am right that there are two different versions, and one comes with the sarcophagus and one does not. I really can't recall. But it's a beautiful piece. I'd say definitely go for it. It's worth it. It's just fantastic. So he is going to be a little bit on the smaller side. Let's compare him to a few different figures and see how much smaller. So first of all, we've got Mezco Indiana Jones, and this actually works pretty well because like I said, you have to remember that Tutankhamun was a boy when he died, so he was small, and this is an appropriately child-sized mummy when compared to Indiana. So that looks really good. Then you've got something like Four Horsemen's, both much larger than even Indiana Jones, but again, a god. So that scale kind of makes sense. It wouldn't really matter that he's huge in comparison because this is a godly creature. And here we have a Marvel Legends Moon Knight, which is a more standard size figure. Hasbro's about as standard as you can get. I don't say that in a bad way. It sounds like it, but that's just the way my voice is. I'm sorry. So yeah, Tutankhamun, small, but it makes sense. But we can also put other smaller figures beside him. Here is the TB League Anubis. Still also works well. Definitely more in line with this scale and fits the Egyptian afterlife theme. And finally, we have two more table museum figures. We have the Scream and we have David. So you can see, even compared to David, he's appropriately sized. Then the Scream is just a weird little guy. Great figure all around. Great scale, fantastic accessories, just a beautiful job on the sculpt and paint. Near flawless, I would say. That does come with a higher price tag, but it's much better to pay a higher price tag and get something beautiful and fun and flawless than pay a high price tag and get something that's janky and not well painted, which has happened before to us, and it's always a big bummer. So I'm very pleased with the Boy King. And maybe one day we'll get our Mythic Legions figures and I can review those. So, as always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. That tea gave me a headache, but I'll survive, and I'll see you guys on the next one.